The first Tuesday of November has come and gone. The 2020 election is all but over, although some races will take days, if not weeks, to make final calls on. The country can collectively exhale, finally. Now, as critical as the first Tuesday in November is, America's always been driven forward by the first Wednesday of November. Remember, the drive to Election Day, with its focus on power and control, winners and losers, often distracts us from the more important conversations and the more pressing problems in America. Both sides of the political aisle have breathlessly declared over and over and over again that if their enemies in the other party win the election and assume control, Armageddon will be unleashed. Well, that's never been proven to be true in the United States of America. It's time for Wednesday morning and Wednesday morning moments. For the past two election cycles, I've attempted to draw attention to the Wednesday after Election Day, knowing full well that the answers to what ails the nation are not going to be found in Washington, D.C.'s, in marbled halls or in state capitol buildings, but in our homes and in our neighborhoods. On that Wednesday morning, citizens in cities across the country get up and go to work. They provide for their loved ones. They get their children off to school, help a neighbor in need, and reach out to a struggling friend. They engage in the free market economy and the institutions of civil society that have always driven American freedom over more than 2 centuries now. It's as though some of the politically obsessed have really lost their knowledge and sense of history. You see, the country has survived fierce division and hotly contested elections in the past. And despite the negative chatter and clamor from the flailing political consultants and media types out there, Wednesday morning always comes, and America always moves forward. In fact, American history is filled with Wednesday morning moments. Following great wars, scandals at the highest levels of government, terrorist attack, riots, mass shootings, and yes, even contested elections. Wednesday morning has always come in this country because the American people make it come. And they make Wednesday morning come through their belief in better days yet to come. Now, as always, a look back in history can often provide a very clear vision of what we all need for a 2020 version of Wednesday morning. President Thomas Jefferson won an election so nasty and so contentious that many feared the election was going to lead to riots in the streets, rebellion, and even a new revolution. But his first inaugural address is instructive in our divisive and turmoil-ridden time. In a sign of humility and as a signal to national unity, it was reported that Jefferson entered the Senate chamber of the Capitol dressed as an ordinary citizen. You see, Washington and Adams had both worn ceremonial clothing and swords as they took the oath of office. Thomas Jefferson left the sword at home. Jefferson said in that address, "All too will bear in mind that this sacred principle, that though the will of the majority is in all cases to prevail, that will to be right must be reasonable. That the minority possesses their equal rights, which equal law must protect." And then he concluded by saying, "Let us then, fellow citizens, unite with one heart and one mind." Unity is not found in conformity. Jefferson recognized that oneness was not sameness in America, and that the fledgling constitutional republic was dependent on people disagreeing better, not disagreeing less. He knew that oneness was found in a Wednesday morning approach to all that united the nation. Jefferson eloquently declared to the people that every difference of opinion is not a difference of principle. So, to honor the first Wednesday of November this year, we too should leave our virtual swords at home. We should lay down our Twitter rants and our verbal assault weapons. We should stop demonizing those with differing opinions or question the patriotism of those whose approach to policy or to progress are just different from our own. So whether our candidates or causes prevailed on the first Tuesday of November in 2020, we should all be thankful for that ultimate right to raise our voices and vote our values. And then, after the votes are counted and the victors declared, we should remember that the real strength of the nation lies in its people, in its neighborhoods, in its homes, and in its families. And that is why, in America, Wednesday morning always comes.